The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. And it doesn't matter where you're at. I guess it does. If I don't have this thing up, I forgot to get the audio thing. Everybody's trying to handicap the invasion, which I think is kind of interesting. I'll give my 2 cents. But as long as you're here, probably not in the Ukraine, it's time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
As I said, everybody's trying to handicap it. There's war and rumor of wars on the news cycles these days. I think, a month ago I said the possibility had gone up to 20%. I'm going to move it to 30%. I would say 50% if it was March 2nd, which is the next new moon. A lot of the military guys, and they all have what they call a doctrine. And the two things that they bring up time and time again for all the wars that happened over there in Europe is that you want, Ukraine's kind of a marsh. So you want two things. You either want it in the summer when the soil has decided to give up most of its water and sink in. Because if you take a bunch of tanks across, guess what? Just like Hitler, they'll all sink in the mud. Hitler left a little bit too late in the year and then got bogged down. And most historians, or at least military historians, will probably bring that up 100 times. I can't imagine a lot of people want to make the same mistake twice. The other one is the full moon. The next new moon is on the 2nd of March. I would say the probabilities are much higher then. One of the reasons why is you don't want to go and take your jets and have them silhouetted or even shown up by a moon. So almost all doctrine for military flight is all about waiting until there isn't a moon backlighting you, especially today where they have a thing called a man-pad. That is a man-portable missile that'll take down aircraft. My understanding is that they're all over the place. They're like flies over there in the Ukraine. They kind of saw this coming and started importing a bunch of those things. So you don't want people seeing your jet coming from miles away with a nice reflection of the moon. So does that mean that he'll wait? No, but it means that I would put the probability higher. If the temperature really drops significantly, so the tanks don't sink into the marshes, and with a new moon means that your planes aren't silhouetted in the background, and easy shots for anybody with a man pad. And the cost of those things is down to about $70,000 now, which, when you look at a tank at about $15 million, kind of cheap. If you can take one out with one man in a Jeep compared to a $15 million tank. Of course, you've got to all think that there is some kind of spreadsheet going on somewhere at Putin's house where he's trying to figure out if the cost is worth it. I'm trying to remember who said it. Maybe someone will email me. But the cost of war is seldom made back by the people who start it. But I can't remember, was it like Jefferson or I think it was one of our founding fathers. But I'm going to say, yes, I can move the odds up. But when everybody's telling me that war is going to happen, that's generally when it doesn't, when everybody's ready. When everybody believed they talked Hitler out of invading, it happened. We thought that we'd talked the Japanese out. And, of course, they were sitting in the in the anteroom of the Secretary of State when the bomb started to fall in Hawaii. When military action and what would you call it? What is it called, actually? Anytime you get a lot of people that want to believe something isn't there that is, like us believing that Japan wouldn't invade Hawaii, or for England trying to ignore that Hitler would invade Poland and France. There's a lot of wanting it to happen. And generally, if you got a lot of people wanting it, it happens. If you got a lot of people that are, as the old saying, trust but verify, it tends to not happen if you keep your guard up. So my guess is that if we let our guard down, the odds are probably much higher than just waiting for it to happen now when everybody's saying it's going to happen. I don't think Putin called up the Prime Minister of Ukraine and said, "Hey, Wednesday at 2." Although, a few people saying that's the thing. I would say maybe another couple of weeks, heavy freeze, no moon. Most of these guys are fairly. It's not that they're incredibly stupid. They didn't outfox all the other scumbags to rise to the top of the heap, Putin included. They tend to be fairly smart, just evil. Anyway, my 2 cents. 877-927-6648. And you can email me at path@tfnn.com. Okay, got some emails here. We'll answer those. In the meantime, let's go ahead and update this and take a look at it, and then we'll do some history. Off 45 points on the S&P cash. I would say there's an 80% probability we're going back to 42.50. That's pretty high. I don't do 100%, but I do think that's doable. But we shall see. Let's do a little history. We'll come back. We'll start looking at charts and seeing what they're saying.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1989, the first of 24 Block 2 GPS satellites were launched. Block 2 were the first modern GPS satellites that form the modern GPS system as we know today. And, of course, we went from about 60 yards to 30 yards to about 10 yards in 1989 for the system that was given to everybody, I think in about, 2010, which dropped the circle of probability for GPSs. At some point, you have plus or minus a yard on those things being accurate if you have enough satellites up. But, hey, I still don't ask for directions. Be back in a minute.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
As we return, we're going to start looking at the big ones. If they start turning down, you know there's a problem. We were looking for support in Microsoft. And if you think this is all going to blow over tomorrow, not a bad looking chart. Did exactly what I say these double gaps do and why they're so effective. And that is, if you have a double gap, just look to see where these things go. And I'd say 75, 80% of the time, right to the double gap that existed, and that's it. Now we've got 2 decent-sized gaps in Microsoft, so if you've listened to this show for any length of time, that I'm looking again at an 80% chance of yet another gap. Now that probably wouldn't be too tough to take us down to 276 at bottom of the candle on January 24th. So we have a pretty good setup for a 3-gap play. And this would be one of the ones you'd want to think about coming back up and instantly filling it. The 3-gap play is 3 gaps, and then it goes back and refills it. I think a lot of stocks couldn't. Microsoft may be one of the few that could. On the next gap down, if all the volume just dries up, probably wouldn't be too bad. But you want a nice gap of maybe $10-15 or something. What do we get here today? Open was 293. Yeah, let's say $8. If you had a gap down, next gap down, and generally you don't get 3 in 3 days. Generally, it kind of meanders out here, goes a little bit, and then you get the 3rd gap. But if you just were absolutely enthralled with Microsoft and you just had to buy something and go long for the bounce, if you could get that down there with no volume, you had 86 million shares on January 24th. You get one more gap down, you get that, you get light volume like less than 50 million shares, maybe 45, something like that. That would be it. You put it in and you get a very narrow stop on the thing. But there is a potential play in there. But I would say that there's probably an 80% chance you get another $8 down. So if you love Microsoft at this level, you'll really love it another $8 cheaper. 877-927-6648. Continue to be off about 45 points on the S&P cash, 43 now. Other questions coming out here. What do I think? Well, the whole market's rather problematic, but you're going to get some dark cloud cover or close to it on Micron today, and it's still one of the strongest stocks. Don't have a lot of volume so far, about half of Friday's move. It still is probably the most important semiconductor out there. Let's take a quick look at the other usual suspects. AMD, you get your gap down. That's a second gap down, but really you want really big gaps. This is a good example of if you're looking for three gap plays. I'm not saying AMD is one, but that's the kind of big gaps you get, and it takes three of those to really set a low in the market that then comes back and gets filled fairly quickly. So, could we get two more gaps down to test right under $100? That would be the best scenario if you wanted to go long. Doesn't mean it can't bounce from out here, but it doesn't look that bad. NVDA, if you buy it at under 100. Now you've got another gap here in NVIDIA, very similar in these SMH stocks. This one's low is 208.88. That's the January 24th low. You've got a nice double gap. So the idea would be that you could go back up to 255 and leave that gap still partially open and then have another couple of gaps. I don't think that's going to happen. I think especially if you're on the downside, we've talked about this many times, and that is 80% of the time the market closes above yet last Wednesday's low. But there's a codicil. When that does not happen, the other 20% of the time, you may be, have a 0.5%, 0.75%, 1% margin better through options expiration, except when the market goes lower, which in case it's almost always 3 times lower than the average up cycle that happens 80% of the time. So if we are going lower, generally look for about 3% on average lower than last Wednesday's low. So keep that thinking. So we looked at those three. What else did we have out here? One of the few winner chicken dinners is Splunk, SPLK. We talked about this one. We'll give it a winner sign since it's up today. We talked pretty heavily about dashboards, talked a little bit about dashboard companies and a little bit more about Splunk. Splunk lets you have kind of a easy to view dashboard about what's going on for all the machines you have in your server and your cloud business, and gives you hints on how to save money and move. You put things in like how much a server is. You can move stuff between Amazon and Microsoft and other companies that do cloud services for you, so you can continually shop for the best price. And since you're really renting one on an hourly basis for the most part for most of these large companies, it becomes kind of a market in itself. So what's going on? Splunk can give you a lot of data very quickly to let you know whether or not you need to move stuff around, how much demand you have for your servers, your cloud servers anyway. And that's it. This thing's been in a big trading range. Was it Cisco? Who was it? Can't remember. Why does Cisco stick in my mind from this morning? Yeah, Cisco proposes a $20 billion takeover of Splunk. So, even in these times, some stuff. It did not go above its previous high and hold it of January 12th. That was 123.94. You got to 125.81, but things could turn around. Of course, we've got a Federal Trade Commission that is 100% against any of these purchases. I'm wondering how many of these things, if any of them, make it through. We did see ARMS Holdings buyout by NVIDIA tube last week. So we continue to see that. Let's see else what we have out here. When things are bad, they just get worse. As Jesse Livermore said, no stock is too high to buy and no stock is too low to sell. But you get a little bit more of the downside in a firm, AFRM. Again, give them losing horn. Things just don't get better.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Or Micron have any dog and pony shows coming up in the spring? Micron, it's not going to matter. Let's go to that chart again real quick here. Micron doesn't matter. Micron makes a product that can be superior to others, but memory is made at a very specific specification. So manufacturers of other products don't have to rely on a single company. Micron makes some very special stuff that other people that performs better than the spec, and people will buy it for that reason. So if there's a dog and pony, Micron's not in it. They develop something, they take it to the manufacturers, they give them samples before mass production comes along. Those people have to actually embed that design 6 months or 9 months before it actually hits the shelves. So that is a long production cycle. It doesn't happen that way. Now, NVIDIA also has been designing new products, but yes, anything can happen with NVIDIA at any time. They could just come out and say something, but they do have a variety of dog and ponies. They just finished one about 3 weeks ago, though. So the next one generally happens in, I think it's late April, and that is their next big dog and pony on machine learning. But I will try to remember and bring that up and talk about it on the show before it happens. The company I know of right now with a dog and pony that would probably matter most is on the 8th of March. Apple has their new product announcements, and yeah, 16250 would probably be the place to get it. You got fairly light volume. No guarantee you're going to get it on 16250, but not a good looking market. I'm seeing 20-point jumps in the ticks and the S&P. I don't know what's going on there. I would imagine people are running around with all kinds of rumors. Well, I would say almost all news is at least made up or half truth until it takes a while till it gets it out. Russia's not mobilizing. Okay. Just friendly protesting on the border there then, apparently. Okay, what else do we have? Let's take a look at some of the other stocks. Okay, question about CCJ from Alec. Looks good. Again, in a market where everybody's hungry for energy, especially China, and then popping up like Photomat's new nuclear power stations. Hard to think that it could go down. It could, but we'd have to get in a much bigger brouhaha. The one thing that I would like over a U.S. company is Cameco is a Canadian company, and therefore probably less likely to have some kind of embargo against China. I don't think anybody actually sells any to Russia, uranium that is. So probably not as a big a deal. But everything kind of cools down. Yeah, Cameco can probably continue to run higher. But right now, it's fire first and ask questions later. And in a declining market, one that has as big a swings as we see today out here, generally, it's all about that. Okay, well, now we're down 29 points. Certainly all kinds of stuff going on. Question about, anyway, I would wait for the market to calm down. There's an old saying that you can't sell what you have to in a declining market, so you sell what you can, and that's why even strong stocks tend to go lower in a declining market. TLT, is anything else going on? We're just hammering around these gaps. I still suspect that we're going to see the 132, 129 lows retested. Probably that 132.46 is next on my radar. I continue to think we just open up and gap down. And, we've got everybody running for the stern, for the stern of the Titanic as the rest of the equities go down. but eventually that money running out of equities and into bonds will also head lower when that's done. So just postponing the inevitable. I'd still rather be in cash than in bonds and out of either short equities or that. But yeah, could we have some big rings? Yes. I'm still looking for a lower low somewhere around Wednesday this week. And maybe that will be the low for this week. But I think we need one more drive lower to set this week's low. Okay, 877-927-6648. So there you go, Hector. We got that handled. Okay. Question about GDXJ. Take a quick look on that. If I can type it correctly, GDXJ, he said. Okay. Had a very strong day. You really didn't get a follow through today, but I don't know if that's a problem. 43.40, which is January 20th high. It had 10 million shares. You got 4.2 million today. You did have 16 million on Friday, though. So you'd like to see a couple more. If you're thinking more than 43.40 on this run, you'd like a little bit more. There is a really nice gap there at 45.2. So I don't see any reason not to sit on your hands if you're long these already. It has to be on the polar hour, does it? Okay. Now let's update this. Yep. Just a very thin, whippy market at the moment, all based on rumors of rumors. So I don't think a lot's going on there. Okay. Question about Beam, one of the CRISPR companies. Beam Therapeutics. This thing's just got kind of a big triangle forming here. I don't see a whole lot. Okay. Question about the IBB. Yeah, you're down a little bit. Not a lot of volume. All these stocks look like they're going to at least retest these lows. The candles of the lows. You want less than 4.2 million shares. You got about 1.5 or 6 in the IBB. So it doesn't look bad. May not, with that light of volume, may not come back and test 120.50. 123, I'd like it to get down at least below 125. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
As we return, Amazon.com, question from Sally. Yeah, I still, even though we're got a bounce today, it's on light volume. This is a wonderful double-looking gap at 29, what are we going to call it, 29.30, 29.25-ish. And that would be where you want it to come in and have light volume. You want a little bit lower. But, yeah, could we get it this week? As whippy as these markets are, you could have a really ugly close today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. But I think in the next 3 days, we're probably going to see a lot of these stocks test their lows. And that's probably going to say a lot more about what's going on. Okay. What else do we have out here? A question about Williams-Sonoma. And you can email me at path@tfnn.com, of course. So Roger wants to know, we're going to fill all these two gaps. Well, I would say that you don't want to be long this thing until you get a light volume test of 147.50. That's the first test. And there isn't a lot of volume there, so it won't be hard to break it. Anything over 1 million shares there is more volume. You have this really nice candle with volume on the upside of 2.4 million shares from the 24th of January. That's what makes me think that at least you're going to see I'm going to say 147-ish, 147.50. Looks to me like that's where you'd want that to come in with a light volume. You got it today, but it wouldn't take much of anything. Again, I'm suspecting that we've got something around 42.50 on the S&P cash. That's the first test. And, the more we kind of do these wild swings and intraday things where buyers just run away every time the news comes up, the more I think that 42.50 is coming sooner rather than later. Okay. Any question on PLTR? Yeah, just going sideways out here. I don't see anything. Little lower, higher lows, lower highs, going sideways. Not a big sign. My guess is that this would, again, you break out of these triangles, almost always it's a head fake. I'd say 80% of the time. So ideally, if you wanted to buy this, PLTR, Planetier, you would want it to go down there and blow out everybody below 175 and close back above it. And that would be a really nice pattern for letting you know that anybody that was thinking about selling this has given up on it. But I think at this point, that's what you need. Take a quick look for Rick on the SMHs, because we haven't looked at those yet. Okay. Yeah. You had about the same volume of January 28th on Friday. Today's not a whole lot happening yet. But, yeah, I'd love to see that 249.36 tested sooner rather than later. You may not get all the way down into it, but at least, let's call it 253-ish. Out here is probably, you want to probably be into the wick of that candle of January 28th to get a decent test. Too much volume on Friday, not huge today, but like Friday, a lot of that volume came in very late in the day, so you have to watch that. Question about an update on Tesla. I mean, we're starting to see electric vehicles actually show up on car lots now, other than Teslas. So I think it's looking kind of interesting. You are back in this gap up that happened on the 31st of January with 34 million shares. But you had what I think is too much volume on Friday, 26.5 million shares. It really, I would have liked to have seen something like 18 or 20 million shares. You got 17 already today. I suspect that does set up 792.01, that test of January 28th. In my opinion, this is a longer and bigger ABC on the way down to 600, maybe that 546 levels out here. But if there's a sacred cow to be slaughtered, it's certainly Tesla. Okay, we looked at that. Question about the XLE. Friday, we had some fairly good numbers here in the United States and Canada for wells. And again, there's a lot of wells that are marginal, and they turn them on when the price goes up. And then that adds supply, which makes the price go down a little bit. But a lot of those are at about $70 for break even. So that crude in the $90 range makes those temporarily profitable. But again, the more of those come on, the more. Now, we had a spike today that kind of gave it back up. But my belief in the XLE and a lot of these is this thing, or most of these, are getting ready for a push over $100 in crude. My guess is it will be on some kind of event and a gap higher. And at that point, maybe we set some kind of high, maybe we don't. But I don't think I want to be short crude in the $90 range until it blows through 100, wipes out all the people that are short, if there are anybody short, and gives it up. That would be a good sign of a high. I don't see anything yet. Okay. Anything going on in UNG? We'll take a quick look there. 877-927-6648 and path at tfnn.com. Keep those emails coming. We've got about a minute left here in this. You got a little bit of a bounce off the bottom. This thing is gappy. What is it? The 14th of February. You got about 20 days to put a cherry on the top of the big push on UNG. But, man, you're probably going to have pretty severe resistance at about 1575-ish. I would remember for next year that there's a triple gap at $18. I don't think we get to it this year. But, maybe we get a deep freeze yet, but certainly looks to me like we've made the top for the year in the UNG. And, maybe you get a bounce to 1550. But that's a lot of resistance right at that level. You got three gaps when you take a look at this. You got a gap off the January 12th candle. Got a gap off the January 27th candle. And you got a gap off the February 7th candle. $15.75 is a magic price on UNG. We'll be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you looking for a secured investment which pays you on a monthly basis? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be the program for you. The best rate on a 5-year CD in the country right now, according to Bankrate.com, is paying 1% per year or $1,000 per $100,000 invested. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly, on secured, high-value, buildable properties in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment is for 4 years, paying 7% per year or $7,000 per $100,000 invested. Your investment is secured by high-value real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Your investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Do you want to make $1,000 per year on $100,000 invested or $7,000 per year on a secured Tiger First mortgage? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be just the program for you. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly. For more information, you can call 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we get back, the whipsaw is pretty brutal in the S&P and the other stocks out here. Thin and light and not a lot of buyers, and every time it pops, there's a lot of sellers. Still doesn't look good. Question in the den from Coda about Airbnb with earnings coming up tomorrow. Just going sideways out here. You got to think that this is one of the better trades if you are subscribing to the end of the pandemic. Looks good to me. I don't think it's so much about how much money they made, but how much they're gonna. And still a fairly decent business. They worked out some of the worst things and abuses by themselves and by their renters. I think it looks good. The downside is you probably have the risk reward if you're long now is not all that great. You probably look at 185 on the upside. I don't know if there's a whole lot of downside, maybe 160, 155. I haven't looked at the options, but I have a feeling it's more about what they say than what they earn. You're buying the future in this one, I'm pretty sure. So it's a sell the sizzle stock, not sell the steak. And let's see what else here. We got a couple more emails, see if we can get to them. hitting fib numbers now, and everybody thinks that is something. I would refer to Trading into the Zone and the article in which our own Larry Pesavento was sitting in the office, and a gentleman was trying to tell him it was going soybeans or something was going exactly to a penny. Guy picked up the phone and said, "Sell 10,000 bushels," and it dropped a dime. Anybody can do it. Anyway, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.